Another crossover has hit Grand Summoners Global, which means it is time for another episode of everything in said crossover. And this time around, it's gonna be Blackrock Shooter. We do these every single time a new crossover comes out to Global. Well, most of the time. I feel like I've missed a few of them. But this video pretty much is exactly what it says. Everything in it. I'm gonna be talking about the characters, the equipment coming, the event weapons, all that type of stuff will be in this video. So this can be your one-stop shop for everything to do with Blackrock Shooter. So without further ado, because I already know this video is going to be kind of lengthy, let's just dive right in, ladies and gentlemen. The 3 units that are coming are going to be summonable units. You're going to be having to go through the gacha to get these characters, and the first one is going to be Empress. She's a water machine, and she's kind of the supporting character from this crossover. Being able to debuff the enemy with crit resist, which then means your team is going to be able to possibly crit, depends on what boss you're fighting. And she's also able to art gauge based on the number of water allies in the party. She also has a stacking physical and water resist down that you can use with any physical damage dealer to buff up your damage even more. And that's pretty much it. That's kind of the gist of Empress. Next is going to be Deadmaster. This unit is sought after by a lot of people because she is the nuker of this crossover, meaning the big deeps boys. Deadmaster is an earth machine unit. And as for the kit, this is pretty much what you can expect. Big damage all throughout it. We got own art gauge increase on the skill. We got reducing the enemy's earth resist on the art. And then with the true art, we have the evasion 50% down, and we have the accuracy 50% up. If you are above 80% HP, you also have 100% defense ignore. If you've been playing the game for a while, you may recognize this because this is pretty much Simon's Phantom Bullet, but now with a true art. So, and then the final unit that will be coming out is going to be the girl Strength. Strength is a breaker. The entire kit is just about reducing break resist, buffing up your break power, or buffing up your allies' damage during break. And it's a pretty hefty damage buff here, as you see arts damage and damage to enemies up by 130%. And then she has a massive passive that's able to make her hit extremely hard. It increases her damage by 200% when the enemy is in break, which that's pretty stupid. I don't know who thought about that. That's kind of dumb because factoring in with her true art plus her passive, she has 130% damage up during break alone. So those are the 3 units you can be expecting from the Blackrock Shooter crossover. Unfortunately, no guaranteed crossover ticket this time around. I mean, we haven't got one in like 2 years, but hey man, I'm still hoping at some point they'll come back. Now let's move on to the equipment of Blackrock Shooter. We're going to be talking about the gacha equip first, and then we're going to be moving into the event because the event actually has quite a few things going on with it this time around compared to previous crossovers. So the gacha equips that you can be expecting is this 5-star physical. This increases your own crit damage by 60%, and if your HP is above 80%, you increase your own arts by 40. Seems like a pretty solid nuking equip to get some extra damage plus giving you some extra art gauge. I mean, you could also use this in regular play too if you wanted to. Next, you have the 5-star defense. This increases a target's water resist by 30% and increases target's arts by 50 first time only. I don't really like this equip too much since it's single target, but I mean, it's possible that this is good for characters that want to nuke and have a 5-star defense slot. You could throw this in there to give them more art gauge. Next, the 5-star physical is able to reduce the enemy's earth resist by 40% and evasion by 30%. Next, you have a 5-star magic, which increases your own earth damage by 50%, and if HP is above 80%, you increase earth damage by an additional 30%. This is pretty solid, but we technically have a better item in the game if you want something similar to this, which is called Despair Vine, and you get that from the mines, and that's technically free to play. So if you're going for this specifically, consider that option if you haven't already. Then we have a 4-star support. This increases your own damage to giant bosses by 40%. We have another 5-star physical here. This increases your own arts damage by 50% and increase all allies fire damage by 30%. Another 5-star physical, which if the user is fire for 10 seconds, you increase your own BE output by 80%. And the final 4-star physical of the crossover will be able to increase your own attack by 20%, and on the first use, you increase your own attack by an additional 20%. Out of all the gacha equips, the ones that I say that caught my eye the most would be this coil gun, the 5-star physical. Crit damage does seem pretty nice, plus the art gauge as well. Seems like it could be used on some characters, however the cooldown is kind of lengthy, but it seems alright. The 5-star defense also seems pretty good for characters that are more nukers and they have a 5-star defense. Being able to give somebody 50 art gauge is pretty good, but at the same time, not really needed in this day and age. But I mean, for some people, this might be something to look out for. All the other items, I'm not really too interested in. I don't really see any appeal in them. But let's talk about the 4-star from the event. We have the Empress's Clothes, which is the 4-star support that is farmable. Its passive is going to be able to increase your defense by 5%, and its skill is you increase all allies' arts by 15, and if user is water for 15 seconds, you increase allies' damage resist by 10%. I want to say this is kind of so-so to me, but this is an EV equip, meaning that later on you can enhance this and get random passives on it and stuff like that. So some of you guys may really farm this, just try to get like a god roll on it. But me personally, the equip itself, I think it has potential to be good, but at the same time, we have a lot of good 4-star supports in the game, so we'll just have to see how this shapes up. And as for all the equips, that is it. However, that's not it for the event. There is one more thing that this event brings that usually a lot of other events brought in the past, but it's been a while since we got them, which is actually going to be event exclusive Crest, or let me say crossover exclusive Crest. You will get these by just playing the event. Preferably, you'll want to play on the hardest difficulty, so especially X, and you'll get these things to drop. And let me say, this time around, there's some pretty good ones. First and foremost, we have a physical damage up 5%, and when your own HP is above 90%, you increase your own attack by 500. You also have you increase your own attack by 200. When HP is above 90%, you increase accuracy by 10%. For the third crest on this list, we have increase own arts by 15 at the start of the quest and increase own physical res. For the fourth crest, we have increase own crit damage by 5%, and when HP is above 90%, you increase skill CT recovery by 10%. And the last crest from this event will be increasing your own arts damage by 11%, and you increase own damage taken by 6%. Two crests from this event really stick out to me as actually being pretty good. The first one being the physical damage up 5%, and then the 500 attack up as well, as long as you're above 90% HP. This seems really solid if you have like a double crest unit and you want to know what to put last and their physical damage, you could put this on there and give them an extra 500 attack and that physical damage, and they're going to definitely appreciate it. Another one that seems really good to me is the arts damage up. Even though it does increase your own damage taken by 6%, 11% arts damage up is pretty sizable, especially if you combo this with something like Promise of the Funeral God or other like arts damage buffs that's already going to be on your team. I feel like you're going to be able to notice the difference of having this and not having this. But yeah, the two that I'm definitely going to be going for is going to be the physical damage up and the arts damage up. And ladies and gentlemen, that's actually it for Blackrock Shooter. Everything else coming out with this is going to be either packs that you can buy or just the random login bonuses that we'll be getting, which I don't really cover those because they can change. We could get more, we could get less. I don't think the login bonuses really follow JP to the T as everything else does. Either way, that's actually it. Tell me down below what you're going to be going for in this crossover. Anything piqued your interest out of the equips, out of the crest, out of the characters? Or is this a little bit of a sleeper crossover too? You're just going to be skipping, going to be on the sidelines like, yeah, I'm good for this one. Me personally, the few things that I want from this crossover is of course Deadmaster, and I think the few crests that are from the event in my opinion. The gacha equips are okay this time around, but they're definitely not anything too crazy. Nothing extremely broken in my opinion, apart from the 5-star physical, which is the coil gun. That seems to have some promise. Thank you all for coming out. It's been your boy P. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more, and last but not least,